So I have my New Year's cold. I apologize. Just tell me to talk louder if you need me to. And I'm intern minister Rita Capezzi, pleased to be serving this church until June of 2018. You're stuck with me. For me, this time of year has always been a planful time and a busy time. In the past, I was often traveling in India with students, exploring religious expressions and social injustices. And as we reflected on our American culture and how we, as a people of privilege, need to wake up to some of the things that we were observing, to wake up to that in our own country too. Now, India is a wonderful and vibrant place, and it is challenging and strange as well. The reactions of the students, including multiple hospitalizations, always kept me in a state of tension. I was alert, hyper-aware, ready to act. I loved the travel, and it was most exhausting. Nothing relaxing about it. I usually got my cold in the middle of January, once I got back. And I loved all the people and places I regularly visited, but it was hard. Now, if I wasn't traveling with students, I was preparing a new semester for them. Learning goals and assignments, reading lists, and inspirational quotations. I used to be an English professor. A new semester was dawning, and I approached it each time with optimism and a sense of possibility. Perhaps this would be the semester when I did my best teaching, when I reached the most students, when their own potential was fully activated, as if that was really my responsibility. Maybe this time. But I was always scrambling, never quite finished with setting the work up, never quite prepared. There was always so much to do. Now, in this new part of my life, I continue to have a planful and busy experience. Later this week, I traveled to Chicago for classes. Just 2, but still lots of work not done. And although I'll be away, I'm really grateful for the internet because that will connect me back here to you all. I'll be involved in planning services and meetings and writing the newsletter. So I'll be away, but I won't really be away. There is a difference for me now, though, a major one. I do feel a sense of urgency for the work before me, yet I do not feel anxious or overwhelmed about it. Just like the children who keep coming into the world, no matter the war, no matter the conflict, no matter the ugliness that sometimes characterizes life, just like those children always coming into the world, the work is always there. It is always there. And I mean the work of making our daily living and the work of being good citizens of this country. And for the work, for the job of work, and for the work of co-creating justice, I feel immense gratitude. And perhaps it's the gratitude that gives me peace about all this planfulness and busyness. And so let us begin our worship today in gratitude, and especially in gratitude for the earth that is our home. So I'm looking at the top of my sermon, and I've written Sunday, January 1st, 2016. It's like the first mistake, right? The first, you wonder, when's the first time you're going to get the date wrong? Apparently yesterday. What will the new year hold? How I wish I had a crystal ball to prophesy the happy answers. I'd peer into it and find the answers I most want to see. But it is not so simple, is it? We actually have to answer this question for ourselves. The spirit world won't be of much help. What will a new year hold, I ask? Now, I think we all know that, at least in part, my question is code for those dreaded words, New Year's resolution. Right? New Year's resolution. That horrible concept of making a pledge on the first day of the new year to be better than last year. Right? To lose 10 or 20 or fill in the blank pounds. To stop smoking or drinking or swearing. You know, focusing on the bad habits and trying to change them. Those bad habits simply have to go. And there's a flip side too to this matter of New Year's resolution, a more positive train of thought we try to psych ourselves into rather than focusing on the bad habits. I want to change. I'll emphasize the good habits I wish to cultivate. Send more thank you notes. Listen more attentively. Show a little more restraint when it comes to anger or ire. Be less judgy. All those things. Still, even these positive resolutions point to a lack in myself. If I were less ungrateful, less preoccupied, less mean-spirited, and less judgmental in the first place, if I were less not good than I always seem to be, then I would not need the resolution in the first place. I kind of hate the new year for that reason. Now, according to statisticsbrain.com, all of which must be true because it's on the internet, 49% of people have some limited success with their New Year's resolutions. Some very limited success. And another 24% have absolutely no success, which is another way of saying they have failure. Now that's 73% of people who might rightly ask, why bother? About 8% achieve their resolutions, but for only about a week. 75% of people are successful for a week. Statistics, damn statistics and lies. It's the other way around, I think, but you get what I'm saying. The numbers don't add up. The time of the new year suggests we ought to feel optimistic. The numbers tell us that the feeling of optimism doesn't always last very long. Are you getting that bad, hopeless feeling right about now? Something like, why did I bother coming all the way to church this morning? But it's sunny. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful day. Still, why bother? On the other hand, I love new beginnings. I told you that already. So despite all the disappointments over my many failed resolutions, New Year's Day always feels to me like a time of great promise. I have been in school as a student or a teacher since I was 6 years old. That's a long time. I can't help but feel excitement at the prospect of a new semester with new subjects, new people, new work, new ideas to stimulate my mind, my spirit. I am conditioned to feel good about the new year. Long years of practice. It's always been a heady time for me, and this year is no different. But I am a bit tired of that resolution jolt. Tired of riding that train of enthusiasm that comes crashing into a static station that has seen it all before and is not impressed. Oh yeah, right, you're going to do all that, my stationary self says. Sure you are, honey. Smaller clothes, cleaner closets, or thank you notes. Yeah, right, no doubt. We heard this all before. I think there's a repeat here. But perhaps the problem isn't with the new year, this beginning again. Perhaps the problem is with what I think resolution means. And the way I'm currently using the word here, that dreaded New Year's resolution way, that means making a firm decision to do or not to do something. Here is how this thinking goes. I make decisions. I set intentions. I plan plans. And I am so very firm about them. I must stick to them absolutely or else fail. And I'm kind of setting myself up for failure with that kind of thinking. You're really getting the English nerd this day. I'm sorry about that. I'm not into words today. There's another meaning to this word, one that might hold more promise for more achievement and less failure. Resolution, the action of solving a problem, dispute, or contentious matter. Now, there's a definition for me to dig into. There is a problem. What challenge to solve? There is a dispute. What disagreement to resolve? There is a contentious matter. Oh, that's a really good one. What is the prickly, the vexed issue? What's the matter, the stuff, the substance, the meat of the vexation? So much more to contemplate, to turn over and analyze. So much more to consider than make a firm decision. There's another part of that definition that I like too. It's the part that says the action, right? That's the part that means the most to me on this day. To take action, to take steps, to move, to work. These are words that are a salve to my spirit and a balm to my mind. To take action can look like make a firm decision. It can. Yet action is so much more than making the decision, which is really limited to the mind. You can think about it and never act on it. I want action. I want the doing, the making something happen. And so I return to my original question. What will the new year hold? Well, what will it hold? What do you want it to hold? So I talked a little bit about the gratitude jars, which you can make or can take from me. Holding gratitude is really holding on to what is good, right? The blessings of the surprising, the beauties of nature, always there if you look for them. The unexpected laughter, memories, both pleasant and painful. Accomplishments, we have those sometimes too. All this goodness, all of this for which to be grateful. And what is good, really good, is life itself. The mystery of it, the gift of it, the adventure of it. Life is rarely easy and often unsatisfying, but it is good because it comes without our permission and it leads us on a journey that we can ride for as long as it lasts, but never completely control. Life is like the thrill of the roller coaster, and I love roller coasters. You can hold on tightly to the bar in front of you and get bounced around, or you can hold on loosely to that bar and get bounced around. You'll get bounced no matter how you hold on. Now, some of us resist the bouncing, but there's little else to expect from a roller coaster. I've been working lately on expecting the bouncing of life and accepting it better, enjoying it more. Life holds for me, for all of us, a lot of bouncing around. And I'm holding the bar more loosely lately. How about you? So at this New Year time, I want to hold on to gratitude. Gratitude that connects me more fully to life as it is, rather than life as I wish it was, with smaller clothes and cleaner closets and more thank you notes and a lot better social reality. I'm making a resolution to hold on to gratitude more often and more loosely. Now, this is not a firm decision I am making, only to abandon when I'm feeling grateful, which I will surely do one of these days sooner than I would wish. Rather, I'm holding on to gratitude as the action of solving a problem. And the problem is the horrible way I feel in my mind, in my body, in my spirit, that horrible way I feel when I let go of gratitude and sink into ingratitude. Do you know that feeling I'm talking about? I always think of the Grinch who stole Christmas. That small, pinched, Grinchy heart, 2 sizes too small, and turning into really horrible actions, like stealing holiday presents, and food, and candy canes, and the trust of children. Stealing all that and still not feeling any satisfaction. Stealing all that and remaining small-hearted and unhappy. Thank goodness Dr. Seuss built in the Epiphany, or that poor Grinch would be miserable to this day, and so would we. Holding on to gratitude makes my heart larger. I love how it breaks out of the frame. Able to hold more love, more people, more sorrow, more joy. That's the feeling I want. I want my heart to grow 3 sizes at a pace. How about you? Holding on to gratitude enables me to hold more of the goodness of life. And in that sense, there is more to holding than holding on to. What will the new year hold? What do you want the new year to hold? How can a resolution to hold more of life move from being a firm decision to an actual action, solving a challenge, a disagreement, a vexation? According to Dan Millman, he's an American author and a lecturer in the personal development field, he says, the secret of change is to focus all of your energy, not on fighting the old, but on building the new. To focus our energy, not on fighting the old, but on building the new. If I am to hold more of life, I need to hold on to the past less and create the new more. I need to hold on to that. I need to stop fighting the old and start building the new. This sounds like some serious work, requiring some serious action. What is it that I can get busy building? Is there anything that needs my attention in this way? Oh my, I think we all know the answer to that question. Many of us are glad to see 2016 go, to loosen our grip on that year. It seemed like such a bad one. The year we lost daughter Carrie Fisher and mother Debbie Reynolds in just 2 days. And that was not the worst of the year by far. But still, 2017 feels full of trepidation, full of a frightful future that could wreak havoc on all our lives in one way or another. More cyber attacks, less regulation of fracking, canceled affordable health care, changes to Social Security, constitutional guarantees eroded or worse. 2017 might very well hold a lot of ugliness, a lot of grinchiness. I feel a little tempted to put my head back under the covers and go to sleep for the next 4 years. How about you? But I'm not going to do that. I'm awake now. I'm awake. That's what the election did for me. And I do not have the luxury of falling back to sleep. As a white, able-bodied, heterosexual, cis woman, educated and solidly part of the middle class, shrinking though it is, I have the privilege of going back to sleep. My day-to-day living is scarcely touched by poisonous water or police violence. I can buy a car and get a mortgage if I need to, especially since my spouse is a white, able-bodied, heterosexual, cis man, employed and educated and solidly part of the middle class. My credit rating is excellent and unlikely to be negatively impacted by mere changes to the economy. I have the privilege to go back to sleep, but I don't have the luxury. I know too much now about the divergence between my privileged reality and that of brothers and sisters and siblings who have been suffering indignity and exclusion for far too long. Siblings for whom our first principle, inherent worth and dignity, is in doubt. Siblings for whom our seventh principle, the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part, is a dream. What will a new year hold? What do I want it to hold? Nothing less than action toward the realization of our Unitarian Universalist principles. Nothing less than pulling myself forward, as theologian James Luther Adams urges us to do, as part of the prophethood of all believers. Nothing less than that. We can all be prophets of the change that needs to be. Justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, regardless of what our current American culture might project. Acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth, regardless of the invitations to restrict and to belittle each other. A free and responsible search for truth and meaning, regardless of fake news sites and the party line. The right of conscience and the use of the democratic process, regardless of calls to accept the unacceptable and go home without making a stir, without protesting. The goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all, regardless of efforts to demonize others in their differences from us. Working for all of this, taking action, that will make my worth and dignity real. Working for all of this, that will ensure my place on the interdependent web. All of this is what I want the new year to hold. And it's toward that reality that I will form actions to solve vexing challenges. The roller coaster of life is moving faster and more bouncily than ever. I will hold on. I will keep holding on, and I will act. In the words of William James, philosopher of religion, we can all act as if what we do makes a difference. It does. Act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. I want all of this. All. I'm kind of greedy. And that's a lot. More than I can accomplish in the new year. Much more than I can ever accomplish alone. Fortunately, forming an action as a resolution does not mean that I must arrive at an ultimate resolution with some kind of a schedule. It's not really a train. Not at all. Knowing that I might not actually resolve anything does not mean that my actions will be meaningless or fruitless. We are in the midst of the ceaseless flow of endless time. The past and future ever meet in the eternal now. Now is the only time to act, and together is the way to act. Now is when our actions are required. Now is when we hold what is most dear to us and act on what we hold so dearly. So much can seem dark. So much can pull us from gratitude for each other, pull us away from each other, pull us away from the gift of life. But we don't have to be pulled away, and we don't have to pull away. Morning has come. The light of hope here shines. The light of peace here shines. The light of love here shines, bringing faith to guide our journey home, toward those principles we hold as the highest. This is what the new year means. Let this new year hold our promise to work for the good in all the ways that we can, our promise that we will face the eternal now with gratitude and forbearance, our promise that we will help each other to hold faith to each other when the bouncing of life gets too hard. Let us promise to stay awake, to face reality, and to work for the good. And when we grow tired, when we fail, as we will, simply rest and then get up and keep taking the action and keep doing the necessary work. Yes, friends, let us promise all of this today and every day as you remember that you are loved, you are worthy, you are welcome, and you are needed. May you feel it so.
Go in peace.
Join us for worship every Sunday at 10 a.m. at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Canandaigua, a welcoming congregation. We are located at 3024 Cooley Road, 4 miles west of South Main Street, Canandaigua, just north of the intersection with Routes 5 and 20. Look for the blue signs just before the turn. Your comments about this program or questions about the church are welcome at 585-396-1370 or at our website, www.canandaiguauu.org. Producer and editor, Daniel Brigham.